My name is Kyra Stafford. I am a dancer at Joffrey Ballet in their studio company, and I've been working with Nikki for 4 years now. My mom and Nikki were friends, and she knew that Nikki was starting this new thing called Red Cord, and so she brought me in to try it. And after one session, I saw such a great improvement, like almost immediately. And so we started coming more often, and then went to San Fransisco Ballet for a couple years. And I've been in Chicago dancing with Joffrey for a couple years. So I've kind of been working with her more off and on recently, but she's always on call for me if I need her. And it's been a great relationship. Nikki has been great, especially working with her throughout like a 4-year period, because she's been with me every step of my journey. And so things that were bothering me 4 years ago, she helped me work through. And then as each problem would come up, she would help me work through it. Specifically, one of the more recent ones was the placement of my knees and how they weren't tracking over my toes. And that's not even something that I would normally worry about or think about while I'm dancing. And I came and saw her, and she gave me exercises, and she changed the direction my knees were facing with like breathing exercises. And it was crazy. And then I went back to class and I immediately felt so much better. When I first started with Nikki, my main goal was just getting stronger, gaining strength in parts of my body that were weak, like my hamstrings, my back at the time. Well, we started with Red Cord and strengthening. And then since then, I've been with her as she was exploring new things, going into sort of biomechanics and these breathing exercises and the brain teasers. And we would try those out. And it became so much more than just I got stronger. It became my range of motion increased dramatically. And I now have all these things that are accessible to me to do whenever before class. There are these specific foot exercises that she's done that have helped me feel my feet in a completely different way. And so it's just like, it was a strength thing, but it's also realigned my body and also realigned the way I think about how my body works. I think that the difference you would see in a year from now, if you choose to work with Nikki or not, is if not, you continue doing the same things that we're told to do every day, and that ballet has been for years of just, you keep working, you keep pushing, it's the same exercises every single day, and you don't really think about how your body's doing them a lot of the time. Working with Nikki is so special because she really thinks about just every part of the body and how it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and also finding new ways to get to that point instead of just the same things that have been drilled into us since we were little. Finding new ways of resetting things as opposed to just training the same things, making them tighter, more tense. She helps you reset them, and then you're able to work through them much better. And so I think that if you go to Nikki and you work with her, the improvement will be much greater, but also each class will be much more effective because you're starting from a different point and a looser point, truer to your body. If you work with Nikki, you can expect an increased range of motion, faster improvement, and more honest technique, meaning less cheating, less pronation, just the correct way to work through each movement, which will again add to improving quicker. I've worked with a few other movement experts in the past, but no one does what Nikki does. I've done gyrotonics and Pilates, but those are very structured ways of cross-training, and you go in and you do what they tell you to, essentially. And that is kind of the same thing that we do in ballet class every day. I've been to other movement experts that will like massage and release, hit trigger points, all those things, which is great temporarily, but I mean, it's very expensive to go see them whenever you need to get your muscles relaxed and all that. So Nikki gives you tools that you can do on your own every day to achieve that same thing. She's the only person I've ever worked with that has done Red Cord and that has done breathing and biomechanics and brain teasers, which is new and unreal how fast it works. Like I said before, she's really just helped me through every step. As a new issue arises, she will brainstorm and help me come up with solutions. And we did a Zoom session at one point. I was getting ready for a show and I was feeling really tight and my shins were bothering me, and it was a 5-minute point solo, and she gave me these foot exercises and I would do them every day and felt little to no pain at the end of the day, which was amazing. So I've noticed a lot of changes in my movement quality. I feel much freer just in general and less tense. I also feel like my brain is a lot less blocked when I'm dancing, thinking about new things that she's mentioned. And I would definitely recommend other people to work with Nikki, especially younger people when they're at that crucial point in their training of starting to adapt technique and starting to adapt habits, good or bad. Nikki is amazing at training your brain and your body in the correct way so that that can be brought with you when you enter the classroom and when you're performing. Again, what's so special about her is that she can take one look at you. She has you do these assessments at the beginning of your session and just to see where your body's at, what's difficult for you, what's tight for you specifically, and then she gives you exercises and progressions on those exercises based on what she sees at the beginning. I've never had anybody do that with me before, and it was amazing. The things that I specifically were struggling with were so much better as opposed to just cross-training.